Da-da, da, da-da. Welcome back to Healthy Living with Christina Sichangwa. Yes, so I just would love to start by thanking every single one of you for every single thing all your responses and the positive feedback, as well as whatever version of feedback you decided to give. I cannot thank you enough for this support that you are showing, and it really does mean the world to me. So thank you once again. Okay, with that said, you know the drill. You know the drill. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we can grow and continue to learn and build each other up. So today I am extremely excited about today because we will be getting into something that's quite dear to me, and that is dealing with insecurities. So for today, I would just like to explain why I felt this was important, as well as just maybe define and talk about it, just the phenomenon that is insecurities. And then in the next video, I will talk about some of the remedies I have used, as well as some of the things I believe can help you with regards dealing with insecurities. So for me, it's a very important social issue, honestly, because it's something I've been approached about several times. I think in my previous video I mentioned, I gave a brief intro of who I am and some of the positions I'm privileged to hold, and in any way I get to interact with people, honestly, be it via my socials, Facebook, Instagram, my WhatsApp. Either way, anytime I get to really interact with people and just get to hear from people, this is an area that I think many people associate me with, right? Not the insecurities, but the other thing, like confidence, right? They really believe, and I believe I'm quite confident, and people tend to ask me, like, because you are so confident, how can I deal with insecurities? Like, how can I deal with my insecurities? How can I get from here to there, right? Yes. So just like everything else, healthy living, as I mentioned in the last video, is about just that balance, just having every single thing in your life be healthy, be enjoyable, every single area of your life prospering, and your emotions, your mental health, and everything are affected. Your decision making, your job, your family, how you relate with people, how you grow your relationships. It is important that insecurities be dealt with, because they do have an effect on all of these things. So according to me, insecurities are like the feeling of inadequacy, like you're not enough or something isn't enough. I'll give an example, like the reason people buy locks, the reason people put burglar bars on their windows and everything is because you feel like, am I really secure with just this? Right? Yes. And so insecurities take many different forms. And so, like I said, insecurities, they give you a feeling of uncertainty. You feel like, I can't rely on this. And most often than not, we do that with ourselves. We feel like we can't fully rely on our minds. We can't fully rely on a certain relationship. We can't fully rely on our looks. Like you feel like, if only I were lighter, if only I were darker, if only I were bigger, if only I was smarter, if only I was that person, right? Yes. Yeah, I said it. And that's exactly why we're talking about it right now, because insecurities annoyingly have a measuring scale. For you to know that this thing shouldn't be relied on, for you to feel like this thing isn't enough, means you're measuring and comparing against something else, right? Yeah. So for you to know, okay, a human being needs these liters of water, means it's been studied, it's been proven, it's been measured that in order for you to be functioning at optimum, you need this amount of this. And then the thing I personally dislike with insecurities is most of the time they're quite subjective, that like they're dependent on how a person like thinks. Some people, like I'll give an example of insecurity when it comes to looks. It's literally based off of another person's preference. Like, oh yeah, I think girls should all have long hair, and so you become you start to feel like you're not good enough simply because you don't have the hair the next person has, right? Okay, so for me, why am I so passionate about this? Like, why am I just going on and on about it? Allow me to just give a bit of a story time to just make this interactive. So Christina, was born in a very female dominant family. Like, if anyone knows me personally, like my family is very outgoing, very so most often than not, growing up, I was very confident in everything. Honestly, I was very confident. Like throughout my primary, I was like, A student, literally the best in the school. Like, and yet I would participate in extracurricular activities. I felt, I could, I was, with the traditional dancing, I was with drama, I was with debate, and so on and so forth. And then I remember when I went into secondary school, which I was at Roma Girls, I think it's the first world I got exposed to comparisons and stuff. So when you get there, it's like a bigger world, right? Yeah. And then the thing is, if I participated in some of the things I used to do before, it was like, why are you even trying? Clearly tablecloth, just use random names, is better than you. And like in the beginning, it never used to get to me until the fact you hear it over and over and over again, and I'm like, oh, if I'm not that good at that, I better just stick to what I am good at, which was obviously like my academics and stuff. I really felt like, that's all I should do, or I should focus on. And I do greatly regret that, because I don't think anyone should have dictated to me, and neither should I should take responsibility, have just fallen for that. Because the thing with insecurities is they have a cost, ladies and gentlemen. So when I look back at my secondary years, I do wish I participated in some of the things I loved more than, like, some of the things I cut myself off of because I felt like they said I'm not good enough, so technically maybe I'm not good enough. And so the thing with insecurities, and why I strongly believe they should be dealt with and not just let's say embraced or something, is because you will have to pay a cost. I'll give an example. Like, having gone to the school, like I said, it was a bigger competitive ground. I came from being the highest to struggling with certain subjects, and it was new territory for me. But it's something I just refused to let go of. I just kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and then it dawned on me that, first of all, who gets to decide for me what I should and shouldn't do? It was making me happy. I am tall.
Okay.
Yes, I'm tall. I am, brown skinned. I am slim, on the slender side. And I was smaller, like when I was at school. And everyone would seemingly be concerned, because at the age we were as girls, everyone was hitting puberty and stuff, and always comparing, like, oh my god, why aren't you looking like, why aren't you? And what used to really annoy me, even when I read my journals from back then, was I didn't have a problem with it. Most of how I look or looked even then, for me, I considered an answered prayer. I felt like, wow, at least I can fit this, at least I can wear that. Like, I always seemed to want to look at the brighter side, because I hated how I felt when I'd accept someone else's standard of how I should live, what I should like, what I shouldn't like. Anyway, so for me, I really, really did feel like zoning into that, like paying more attention to that. And I would ask people out in all my interactions that I would take down in my journal. I would ask, like, but why? Oh, I just hate my feet. But why? it became a question that I asked myself even to date whenever I face any version of insecurity. Like, obviously I'm way older, I have experienced so much more. I've experienced sometimes people who I think are functioning a little better than I am. And so for me, the thing with why I really wish I was more aggressive every single time, and why now I have chosen that this has helped me be healthier. It's helped me be healthier in my emotional life. It's made me healthier in my mental life. And many people describe me as stubborn, I think, because of that. Because you can tell me, like, listen, this person is dressing, yeah, the people do that. Like, okay, I think you should get these and these and these and these wigs. Here are some videos, learn how to lay them. What if I don't want to lay my wigs? Right? I'm just defending myself because I did not glue this down. Anyway, yes. Or what if I did not I don't want to like do my nails then and there? What if I don't want to like have a full beat? Like I just have like, you know, something basic going on here and stuff, and I'm very comfortable with that, like, you know. Yes. And so sometimes people interpret that as you being stubborn, or you being, or like secretly when I go home I'm going to cry. No, because I feel like I've paid a lot. I have paid too high a cost every single time I did that to myself. Every single time someone tried to make me feel like I wasn't adequate enough, or like I can't rely on myself. Every single time, like I said, growing up, I'm just giving another example, growing up in a female dominant home, I never really experienced some of the gender inequalities and comparisons and all of these things, like misogyny, name it, until I was out in the world. And, you know, people felt like they needed to tell me what to do. Like, oh yeah, girls don't do this. I remember interacting with somebody, you know, because I love intellectual conversations. So I remember interacting with somebody, and what really hurt me was at the end of that conversation, he goes, okay, you know, like, yeah, you're quite smart, but the thing is, every female will fall in love with anybody so long as they just tell them the right words. Not here, bro, not around here. So I just mean to say, like, I realize, like, listen, everybody seems to have their own method, their own beliefs and stuff. I am 1,000% allowed to have my own, and you are 1,000% allowed to have your own. Don't let what somebody else is telling you, what social media, if anything, people's trends and traits are the most unreliable thing, because they change every day, which in itself should show you that it's not reliable. That in itself is clearly, you know, yeah. Anyway, my point is, at the end of the day, these people never seem to know what they want. They never seem to know, okay, is it a flat tummy? Is it curves? Is it, like, you choose for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're costing yourself some of the traits that are resultant of insecurities. For instance, anxiety. Why should you be anxious to wear a pair of jeans you love, and when you were buying it, you were very excited, very, you know, you were practically jumping up and down just because somebody is going to come and tell you that it's not in fashion right now? Excuse me, madam, sir, please. I will wear what I want to wear, and whether you like it or not is really up to you. I really feel like we have paid such a high price, such a high cost of such an enjoyable, quality, healthy life, simply because while we are comparing ourselves to somebody else, or simply because there's some standard out there that men dictated. By men, I mean like the world dictated, and you feel inadequate because of that. You have a higher destiny, and this is something I enjoy about being a born-again believer. When I see in the scriptures, it's not just words to me that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I have studied the scriptures, I have built a relationship with God, and it's very clear to me that He doesn't make mistakes. Look at your beautiful body, look at how it works together, look at your mind and how it, like, look at your creative hands and the things it can bring forth, right? There's nowhere in all of that He just seem to turn a blind eye and say, okay, I'm just going to make her feet or his feet slightly bigger so that he can have an insecure life. No, I don't think so. You deserve a better life, a life free of insecurities.